On September 2nd, Donald Trump said America's military destroyed a boat in the Caribbean, killing 11 narco-terrorists working for the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. According to an executive order back in March, Trump declared that the United States has been invaded by Venezuela. And as I keep saying, it would be a common courtesy to tell Venezuela they've invaded us. I think that's only fair. There are now reports that the boat was fired upon, 11 people killed, had turned around, headed back to shore after the captain spotted the attack drone. American military fired anyway. It's also reported not everyone was killed all at once, that another drone was sent in to finish off the rest of the people on the boat in a second strike. Venezuela's interior minister saying an investigation shows the 11 people killed were not gang members and weren't smuggling drugs. Senator Jack Reed, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, now saying the Pentagon failed to present any proof to his committee that the 11 people on board that boat were who the Trump White House claims they were. He was later joined by Virginia Democrat Senator Tim Kaine and nearly 24 other Democratic senators demanding to know the legal justification for these attacks. So, rules of engagement forbid our military from firing upon an enemy boat that is retreating. And the rules also forbid our military from using lethal force when there is no imminent threat. The people on that boat must be given an opportunity to surrender before being fired upon. Republican Senator Rand Paul now calling the attack, quote, a blatant violation of the rules of engagement. Earlier in the week, J.D. Vance, our vice president, responded to accusations that the airstrikes were a war crime by saying, quote, I don't give a shit, unquote. Republican Senator Rand Paul called the vice president's comment despicable and thoughtless. As our military sends jet fighters to Puerto Rico and warships into the Caribbean as part of the largest buildup of military assets in South America since our invasion of Panama, Trump was asked, are you planning a land invasion of Venezuela? Trump smirked and said, you're going to find out. Actually, he's invading Memphis, Tennessee first. That's what they're saying. He's decided not to go into Chicago, and instead he's invading Memphis, Tennessee. At least that's the plan for now. Maybe a feint. He may, like Eisenhower wanted Hitler to believe it was Calais instead of Normandy for D-Day. This might be a feint. He may be actually going into Chicago. So it's the enemy within. If anybody from Venezuela is watching, Trump has said the problem in America is the enemy within, not foreign countries. So I'm optimistic. I am. I believe there will be no land invasion of Venezuela. I'm hopeful because I think Trump's going to wage war on us here in the United States instead. Fingers crossed. Ay, what a country. Well, I don't think he's going to invade Venezuela. I think what he's going to do, instead of attacking Venezuela, he's going to do what he did after the airstrikes over Yemen. He's just going to stop and say victory, even though the Houthis are still firing weapons at ships in Israel. Mike Johnson put this up in Statuary Hall. It's the new Trump War Memorial, Victory Over Venezuela. Let's celebrate how he destroyed that boat carrying 11 people. Maya Lin, who did the Vietnam Memorial, that breathtaking memorial, she also did this. It's our dear leader in a terry cloth robe sitting on the turlet, fried chicken sandwich in one hand, cell phone in the other, and she depicts him on the toilet ordering the airstrike as his chicken sandwich gets cold. Very Churchillian. Not Winston. Church's Fried Chicken. That's where the sandwich is from. There's something that draws me to that statue of Trump. By the way, speaking of invading Venezuela, Trump and Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio said they had no choice but to attack that Venezuelan ship in order to stop the flow of drugs coming into America. The truth is, both our U.S. intelligence agencies and the United Nations have concluded that cocaine comes from Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, but not Venezuela. What Venezuela does have, however, is a massive reserve of oil, possibly the largest oil reserves in the world. But come on, America would never fight a war on behalf of the oil companies. We fight a war to stop the flow of drugs into our country. That's what we do. We spend billions, trillions to stop the flow of drugs into our country instead of spending billions on free mental health care treatment, or at least affordable mental health care treatment. So there's no longer any market for these drugs pouring over the border. You know who runs, if you want to go into rehab? Mitt Romney's Bain Capital invests in drug rehab. So that's why they block Medicare for all. They don't want free rehab because there's a lot of money to be made, a lot, in charging people to get clean. Speaking of people who dumped crack cocaine into the inner city in order to fund the Contras in their war against the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, Colonel Oliver North married his former secretary, Fawn Hall. Some of you might remember Fawn Hall testified during the Iran Contra hearings. She testified that she shredded documents for her boss, Oliver North, now her husband. She did that in order to hide evidence that despite the Boland Amendment specifically forbidden foreign aid to the Contras, Oliver North sold weapons to Iran, our enemy, in exchange for releasing some hostages, even though we don't negotiate with terrorists until we do. And then North used the profits from the sale of those weapons to fund an illegal war in Nicaragua. One of the worst things ever done by a president. Just a flagrant disregard of the Constitution. Reagan should have been impeached, but Democrats at the time felt it would look unseemly to force a Republican president to resign right after forcing the previously duly elected Republican president to resign. That'd be Richard Nixon. Ford wasn't duly elected. So the Democrats backed off. They literally said, are we going to just have to start impeaching every Republican president? Yes. Reagan's defense was, okay, this is true. He went on national television. He said, I guess I ordered people to trade arms for hostages and then use the proceeds to fund an illegal war on the Nicaraguan government. I didn't know I was doing it. And it worked. People went, he didn't know what he was doing. So Republicans said, wait, let's just keep nominating cretins like Reagan. So they elected George W. Bush, who's an idiot, and Donald Trump, who's even a bigger idiot. That way they can say, yeah, maybe he committed war crimes, maybe he's destroying the Constitution. But, he's like Reagan. He's Reagan-esque. He's too stupid to know what he's doing, so don't be angry. Don't prosecute. The man's a moron. You want to beat up on a moron? Seriously, that's the Reagan legacy. He taught Republicans how to commit crimes. You do it by putting a moron front and center.